Hi, I'm Levy, your friendly neighborhood chibi Leviathan, and I'll be recapping a Dungeons and Dragons session for session 13 of Lumineth, the Looming Green. We began where we left off. We were in the Temple of the Celestial, which we later learn calls himself the Gardener. That is the way we are able to address them. Of course, tensions are still high from the previous week. Zeke still wants his map back. Lyric still feels insulted by Zeke's action, and of course, a little on edge about how Zeke is going to handle the information of how his map can affect Patch if it is brought into contact with him. It is explained that is the main reason Lyric kept the map away, to protect Patch and the rest of the party, the world, really, from catastrophe. Zeke continues to spew rhetoric about how the map is stolen, when it is only his opinion that it is stolen because it's still within the party and has not actually been taken from him, simply not returned when it was borrowed. And of course, in my opinion, if something were stolen from you, you would not know it was gone or where it was. It's not how stealing works. Anyways, the map is returned to him. The essence of the Celestial is added into our container, and we thank thoroughly the Gardener and leave solemnly from there with lots of tension in the party. There is a moment given where we are offered the opportunity to simply part ways once Zeke has the map, and there's some above table communication about where we want the story to go from here, if this is going to be character growth opportunity for all of us, or if this is going to be some sort of party splitting cataclysm event. We choose to continue on as a group together, even though attitudes are still rocky. Cisco decides that he is going to have everyone come together in some kind of powwow, drug-induced bonding experience. We travel down the road towards the Temple of the Yokai, through the crossroads. We begin to set up camp just outside of a part of the forest. Lyric and Zeke are still not on speaking terms, and so they go in different directions when everyone is setting up camp. Zeke goes to do some hunting and I believe finds some pheasants, I think is what he found, and starts cleaning them with Milton. Cisco and Patch help to set up camp, and Lyric wanders northward, I believe it is, or eastward. I can't remember the directions in this lovely scenario. I wandered away from the party. We did level up to level 5 when we left the Temple of the Celestial, so yay, new abilities and stuff is always super fun. I wandered into the northern forest. I saw that there were lots of luminescent mushrooms and that the topography was slowly changing. Used my all-purpose tool to give myself the Mold Earth spell. Found a cute tree, dug a cute burrow in it with mold earth, and settled down there for the night, about 30 minutes away from the party. It took them some time to realize that Lyric was not returning to camp, and went off in search of him. They seemed confused and unable to locate him, and only after a couple of different survival and history checks did they realize that they could simply access their magic maps to know exactly where all of their party members were because of the artificer cartographer abilities that I give them every morning. So they found and talked to Lyric about why he was in this burrow. He had a conversation with Cisco and Patch about how he simply thought that the party would move on without him, and probably forget that he was even missing, because he gave the canister to Patch on the way out and essentially set it up so that they would not need him going forward. They decided to speak about their feelings, and it turns out that Map and Cisco and Patch are all friends now. It's so cute. And he returned back to camp with them, riding on Cisco, who was transformed into a giant spider. We used some of our new abilities to cast Invisible on the spider, and Patch cast Invisible on himself and Lyric. So we tried to sneak up on Milton and Zeke as a giant invisible spider, and Milton simply said, "Oh, hey, Cisco," and knew he was there immediately due to the spider sounds that Cisco and Milton have made together quite frequently because they are bosom buddies. The party did have their little weed-induced conversational moments that seemed to ease some of the tension, though in my opinion has not quite cleared it entirely. It's up to the further actions of the party to decide whether or not the melding forgiveness and growth truly blossoms going forward. And as we traveled deeper into the forest, it was very neatly described on how the trees started to turn from regular trees into the flesh stalks of giant mushrooms. Also in the morning, since I leveled up, I changed one of my infusions into the magical tattoo infusion, which is a common item and allows me to make either one cantrip or one spell per day that I can put into this infusion. I left a needle for it on Zeke's bag in the morning without talking to him. That contained the magic missile spell, which he put on his arm before we started traveling. It's kind of a peace offering. And as we got deeper and deeper into these mushrooms, we stumbled upon an area where they had completely overtaken the canopy, where light came from other sources of bioluminescence in this area, and we came face to face with what appears to be a giant yokai with the skull of a steer and some weird flower or rose-shaped figures or golems or something like that we haven't treants maybe that we are about to face, and we rolled initiative to end the session.